Yo, what is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have some big news to talk about coming out of the MMA world. It's kind of UFC related. It's tangential to the UFC at this point. But of course, as of late, a very, very big story has been the fact that the UFC recently cut ties with Aspen Ladd after her most recent weight loss. She has now missed weight a couple of different times and has really, thrown off total fights. It's just thrown off total cards at some point. It's been very, very frustrating. At the end of the day, Dana White said in a recent interview, like, hey, she's talented, she's good, and that's what sucks. But part of this job and part of the profession is making weight. You got to come in, you got to make weight, and you got to fight. Not only is she ruining, the UFC stuff, she's potentially messing up some other fighters' careers and their whole schedule and stuff, getting fights canceled. This is just really, really bad. And at the end of the day, the UFC didn't really have anywhere to put her because they can't move her up to a weight class that doesn't really exist in the UFC. It hardly exists in the UFC. So their option was, hey, you got to make weight. They gave her multiple chances. She wasn't able to do that for whatever reason. And the UFC decided to cut ties with her. And a lot of people were wondering, hey, what the heck is next? She is a decently popular fighter. She is a decently talented fighter. But she does have some issues and stuff. But she seemed to be a really, really nice potential target for a lot of these potential other promotions, whether it was going to be, PFL, or whether it was going to be Bellator, or whether it was going to be whatever. People were wondering what the heck was going to be next for Aspen Ladd, how she was going to look in other promotions, how she was going to perform, if she was going to have weight cutting issues, whether she was going to move up in weight or whatever. And we finally got some very, very big news. Ariel Helwani was one who retweeted this out. Jedi Goodman put this out as well. Signed for the flyweight division, but at least PFL has a lightweight division too. Aspen Ladd announced for the PFL. Welcome to the league, MMA's league. Aspen Ladd going to the PFL. This is crazy. Now, obviously, in the PFL, she will have a chance to prove some people wrong if she is able to make weight, if she's able to cut correctly, if she's able to win some big fights, because the PFL, they've been doing pretty well recently. They're actually a little bit of a budding promotion in a lot of ways, and they're also throwing around a lot of money. And if Aspen Ladd is able to climb up the ranks and ultimately take on who's going to be waiting for her at the end of the line, Kayla Harrison, just the PFL's, golden girl. This could be potentially huge for her. Not only could she win the $1 million paydays that they throw around, also dethroning really the queen of the PFL in a lot of big ways could be a way for Aspen Ladd to take her career to new heights that maybe wouldn't even have been possible in the UFC, other than, becoming some kind of sustained champion or anything like that. But hey, if she wasn't even making weight or fighting, she wasn't going to be any kind of sustained champion. I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. But Aspen Ladd's first fight in the PFL and her weight cut and all this stuff is going to be highly publicized. It's going to be very, very interesting. I think this overall is a big pickup for the PFL. It's cool for Aspen Ladd to get on her feet so quickly after being cut from the UFC. It seems like a week ago or something like this. But obviously she will have a chip on her shoulder. She will have a lot to prove, and she will have some big pressure. And some people are able to use that pressure and perform. Some people crack under it, shrink under it. I don't know exactly what is going to happen. Here's one of the articles we got from the UFC about the whole thing. Former UFC bantamweight Aspen Ladd has a new home and weight class, signing with the PFL as a featherweight. Ladd, 9-3, has signed on to the PFL's 2023 regular season as a featherweight. She and the promotion announced on Tuesday. The PFL season format has not previously included a female featherweight division, only a lightweight. I want to thank the PFL for giving me the opportunity to continue my career. I am excited about the PFL sports season format where you win and advance based on talent and merit. I look forward to testing myself against the best women's featherweights in the world. UFC released Ladd, citing her repeated problems making the 135-pound bantamweight limit. She missed weight for a bout against Leslie Smith in 2018. She missed weight for a fight against Macy Chasson in 2021, and again for her last fight against Sarah McCann. Both of those bouts were also canceled. Again, this was just becoming a recurring issue and a very, very big issue that the UFC had to deal with. She will be competing at 145 instead of 135. And again, this was one of the main issues that in the UFC, they don't really have 145. There's not really all that many people you can fight. They don't put 145 pound fights together all that consistently, and they don't really seem like they have a desire to do so at all going forward in the future. So this will be good for her. Despite her problems on the scale, she is widely considered one of the top female fighters in the world. We're very excited to bring Aspen to the PFL, said the president, Ray Sefo. She's a talented fighter who has shown she can be one of the top women in the sport, and she'll fit in great for the 2023 season. The PFL's current female roster consists only of 155-pound lightweights. However, most of it, if not all, all of these 2022 season could possibly make 145. Two-time PFL champion, Olympic gold medalist Kayla Harrison has been the face of the women's competition, the PFL brand in general. She has competed at 145 previously and is still signed to the PFL, but she has indicated she will not compete in this next year's season format, opting for showcase fights. So, again, she could maybe potentially be looking to set up a showcase fight against Aspen Ladd at some point during this PFL year, especially if Aspen Ladd performs well during the season and potentially even brings home, the title or wins the season or whatever. I'm not exactly sure how the PFL works. I haven't watched a ton of it. I kind of just, tune in for the big fights here and there. But, very, very big news. Aspen Ladd, at the end of the day, I think this is going to be good for everybody. UFC gets rid of kind of a problem child. Aspen Ladd gets to move up to a weight class and actually compete where there should be other fighters in a decently respected promotion. And the PFL gets, like they said, one of the best women fighters in the world right now, which those are hard to come by. Those are a very, very good asset. But that's pretty much everybody's video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about anything we talked about in this video today. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.